Robyn, you're a best-selling author, you're a health coach, you're an entrepreneur, you're a mother, you're a speaker. You do so many things. What does your day-to-day actually look like?
Day-to-day. So I recently got an office space, so that has really anchored my day-to-day, because I know, okay, if I'm going there, I can have this space to breathe and be, and maybe I have a super focused, productive work shift, and maybe I don't, but I have that space for myself. And that's one thing that really kind of got away from me in becoming a mom and an entrepreneur. I used to have a home office, and that was lovely, and then my daughter came into the picture, and I was like, well, that's not gonna work. And so I worked from coffee shops for so long, and I've been doing this for nearly a decade. And so it's funny to me to think now that I just recently got a dedicated office space outside of my home. But typical day is time with my daughter in the morning. We hear her, she comes in and
she has her power parfaits, you might know from Robyn's stories.
Yes, power parfait, just basically amped up yogurt bowl, so I get some chia seeds in there, some oats in there for her, protein powder, and she loves it. And it allows me to use plain yogurt instead of a product that may have an added sugar or something like that. So she loves that. We have that breakfast together. And before that even, my husband will typically take our daughter for a little bit so I can meditate. And meditation has been something, you know, nothing new in the wellness world, but for me, it's only recently really become something that I'm doing almost every single day. And I have noticed such a huge shift with that happening. So
do you use an app, or you just sit with yourself?
So I did the Ziva meditation program, Emily Fletcher's program, and what I love about it is she trains you, it's a 15-day digital course, and she trains you to be a self-sufficient meditator, is what she calls it. So you don't need a timer, you don't need an app, you don't need music, there is a mantra in it. And again, I've done so much meditation, but I never took a course that explained a lot more. And once my brain got phrases like, there's no such thing as a shallow or deep meditation, like your body processes it the same way. And so if I hear my daughter crying in the other room and I can only sit for 5 minutes, I can tell myself, no, those 5 minutes were valuable. Like your system got something. And so how freeing and cool is that, right? So I get to do that every day. So I meditate in the morning, and then I usually make my matcha, make her power parfait.
What's in your matcha?
My matcha is some adaptogens based on like what I'm needing, but typically ashwagandha, coconut butter. I put in mine, you know, maca or camo for immunity, collagen, of course. And depending how many, I love sharing this tip, like I'll put a lot of adaptogens sometimes, so I do add a little bit of raw honey, because those adaptogens can be intense to add in, I think, with the regular matcha flavor. And then sometimes I'll add ginger in it too. I really like that.
Fresh ginger?
Yeah. I really like that. And yeah, so that's my matcha. I'll sip that with her. And my daughter knows I'm making matcha. She's like, oh, where do you put in your matcha today, Mommy? Can I help? And she helps me. I let her like do little teaspoons and stuff. So we'll do that. And then I'll prep my food for the day as well. So I make sure I have my own personal power parfait. I used to, when she was much younger, I would make a bunch of them at once, but now I make them in the morning because I do have a little time. I make my power parfait and I make my Rule of 5 plate. And both of those are from Within from my book, and just basically a way to take your meal prep and put it together. And every single day.
How long does that take?
10 minutes.
What do you make?
The Rule of 5 plate. So I'll do meal prep during the week. So I'll roast some veggies, I'll have my greens ready to go, I'll make sure I'll have protein stocked, I have my ferments. That's what's in there, by the way. It's basically greens, cooked vegetable, protein, healthy fat, and a ferment. So I put some variation of that in my to-go container, and I think sometimes I'll take an apple or something like that. I don't usually eat a snack, but I'll grab one because I like to have it. I love raw fennel, so I'll put raw fennel in a little bag for myself, sometimes a kombucha, my water, and I have like a lunch bag. Like you'd send a kid off to school, I go off to my office with my lunch bag. And I do that every single day. I feel really good in my body because of that. That people are like, you know, what do you do to lose weight? I was like, I just focus on eating my food. Like I make my food and I eat my food.
That's the thing I don't understand is I'm very much go with the flow, and so I usually know right before I want to eat what I want to eat, but I can't plan ahead of time what my body's going to be in the mood for.
Throw a kid into the mix and then let me know. What changes when everything feels chaotic. You know, some mornings my daughter comes to the door and says, bye, Mommy, and blows me a kiss. Some mornings she's hysterically screaming on my leg, don't go, Mommy. You know, and yeah, and it can be heart-wrenching most days, and I know she's fine. You mentally know she's fine, but chemically I'm having a reaction in my body. I'm having a hormonal reaction. So the food becomes, yes, there's like an intuitive piece of what do I want here, but mostly you're just grateful to have something solid and stable that you made with love for you. When you get to the office and you're like, okay, I need to focus, I need to come back into me.
Can you give us a couple more tips on mindful eating?
Yes, would love to. So mindful eating can sound like this thing we should be doing, right? Like, oh, I need to be eating more mindfully. I need to be putting my phone down. So rather than saying, do that, don't do that rather, I like to give you something to focus on. So I always talk about chewing. So chewing your food completely, ideally to liquid before swallowing, just gives you something to be like, okay, that's my task. I mean, so if I'm not going to have my phone, or I'm not going to do that, like that's my task. And so really chewing our food completely, that will slow us down as well. Another piece, eat your food when it's time to eat your food. So a lot of my women were dieting through their meals and eating through their days. So when it was time to eat lunch, it's like, oh, I'm just gonna have a little salad and I'm going to work at the same time and do all these other things. Like make a real plate of food. Like how you said, what do I want? What sounds good to me? Tune in with that. Or if it's something that you made that morning or the night before, like what feels like it would feel supportive and nourishing and actually fuel me, and then put everything away. And then the other part is let your body digest. So I know I'm asking a lot here. I'm asking for you to give more time to your food. You're supposed to give this much time to your food, but also add in a walk around the block after you eat. Add in another, set a timer on your phone to do 2 minutes and just breathe and stare out the window. Listen to 10 minutes of a podcast. Just give your body can't do all these different things at once. It's not supposed to. And that includes our digestive systems.
How about eating while you're cooking?
Raw veggies. Keep out a bowl of raw veggies. Because I know that can be a hard one for people, right? Because we're like in a flow, we're in a movement, we're in that like busy brain and we're hungry. So rather than saying, well, don't, ideally you're not, that's, it is what it is. But I always say have some raw power veggies. So I love raw fennel. It's really sweet and cleansing and great for digestion. So good. And that's one of those veggies I couldn't stand it before. And I totally changed. Raw celery, carrots, radishes, just have a little snack bowl or something like that. And you could just be munching on that.
If you enjoyed the show, please share it with your friends, leave a review, and find all the show notes on wokeandwired.com and connect with me on Instagram @wokeandwired. Stay woke, stay wired, and have an incredible day.